Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure the Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
I won't cry. I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you chip-a-roo.
And darling.
I love when you join in with me. It's great. That was a long one. A long chipperoo.
And I let you take it there because it's that good of a song.
And you know why I chose that song?
Because we're getting married.
Sure. That's I don't see how that's related. What?
Stand By Me?
Oh, so I'm gonna, okay, yes. But Stand By Me is the movie that this episode parodies and the title parodies. But yes, we're getting married. Whew. Chipperoo, everyone. We are here. We're a little tired. The coffee's kicking in. And we're ready for you.
Yeehaw.
First things first. We have some patrons to thank, and we have to burger pun their names.
Very exciting.
First up, we have to say thank you to Jade. Jade, moving forward, you'll be known as the Pure Jade Pumpkin Burger.
Ooh, like a pumpkin spice latte?
Yeah, like a pumpkin puree.
But a burger.
Yeah.
Jade, we're so happy to have you. Thank you for calling me out for wearing a Bob-esque gardening hat. That made my day.
Yeah, Skylar has a very Bob in the Garden style hat that there's a video on our Patreon. You do look like Bob buying some pumpkins.
And I have now started gardening again. So I wear that hat when I garden now too.
So you are pretty much Bob, like a British lady.
Yep.
You dance like that too when you garden.
Sure.
Next up, we have to thank Benjamin. Benjamin, moving forward, you'll be known as the Benjamin's Meat Burger.
Are you saying mint or minced?
Mince meat. It's mince. It's called mince meat. Do you know what mince meat is?
It's a British thing, right?
It is. I had to look this up for this burger, and I was very interested in it. Mince meat, according to Wikipedia, is a mixture of chopped dried fruit, distilled spirits and spices, and often beef suet, usually used as a pie or pastry filling. It used to contain meat, notably beef or venison. There you have it,
I have looked this up before.
Benjamin's Meat. Thank you for joining us. We hope you're enjoying all the benefits of Patreon, all of those bonus episodes we have there, the Discord community that continue to grow and run on itself. If you'd like your name burger pun on the show, along with all of our other bonus content,
we have over
25 episodes at this point.
If you've
something
caught
like
up,
that. Yeah.
Need more Bob's Credits episodes, Patreon is where you go.
Yeah, and even if you're not caught up, there's all sorts of like non-credits, non-episode related content over there. We go on all sorts of tangents within the Bob's Burgers universe, sometimes other things other than Bob's Burgers. It's a lot of fun. You can support us over there. It also supports this show. Patreon.com/BobsCredits.
The only other piece of business we need to say is our store is live. What's that URL?
It is bobscredits.com/shop.
Let me just tell y'all. We have Cutie Patooties merch. We have Bad Hair Day merch. We have Nat merch. We have Wagstaff merch. We have EquestriaCon merch. I mean, get over there.
It's great. Skylar and I, sorry if this gets repetitive to those of you, we're very proud of what we did with the shop. We wanted to create clothing and stuff that is a little more, subtle, yeah.
But they like live in our world.
Yeah, like you can, like the Wagstaff school logo that we've created is so fun to me, and it looks like a normal like college t-shirt or high school t-shirt.
Yeah, like someone would be like, "What? Where's Wagstaff University?"
Yeah, like a Bob's Burgers fan would know like it's Wagstaff, and they'll see like the building, and that's the building from the show, but it's subtle also in that you can just like wear it every day and no one will know. They just think it's like you're promoting or you're just like wearing like a school pride.
Yeah. Go check it out.
Yeah. Again, it's bobscredits.com/shop. Other than that, I think we should get this episode rolling.
Burger puns.
Burger puns. Should we play a little Bob Pun or Max pun?
Please.
Skylar?
Mm-hmm.
I love the response. Your first pun is the Gouda, the Bad, and the Ugleek burger.
Max.
Yes. Will she do it, folks? Will she get them all right this week?
Too much pressure.
Your second pun is the I'm Picklish burger. Comes with pickles.
This is really tough. Max.
Bob.
No.
I'm so sorry. Your next pun is the Beverly Hills 9021 Oat Burger.
Max.
Yes. And your final pun is the Standby Brie Burger.
Oh my gosh. Bob.
Max.
No, you tricked me because this episode.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Skylar Sides, the fun facts before the fun facts?
Dish it, girl.
Okay.
Too much? No.
Too much.
Am I supposed to be like Zeke? Dish it, girl.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, I'll do it as Zeke
from
now.
You gotta throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay, I liked...
Dish it, girl.
It's a very, Zeke-heavy episode, so I like this. And the perfect segue, because when we were watching this episode last night, I was like, we don't talk enough about Zeke on the podcast. Who he's voiced by... Mm-hmm. That whole rigmarole.
Yeah, I think, a lot of the problem is that when we have these characters who are like recurring but not in every episode, probably the first time they've appeared, we've mentioned who voices them, and then we kind of like stop talking about it. But yeah, we should definitely bring them up again. And
that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, dish it, girl.
Dish it, girl. I love this episode that we're going to talk about soon, because Gene and Zeke have this huge friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you know that Bobby Tisdale, who voices Zeke, and Eugene, who voices Gene, are very, very good friends?
I did not know that.
Yes.
That makes me happy.
So, apparently, Gene and Bobby have a weekly stand-up comedy cabaret in New York City called Invite Them Up. So they have worked together for a long time. They've had a huge friendship for a long time. So knowing that and then watching this episode where Gene and Zeke's friendship organically blossoms so beautifully, it's so much fun knowing that history.
That's absolutely delightful, and it makes my heart burst with all sorts of happiness juices.
Happiness juices.
It filled up with happiness juice. So much happiness juice that it exploded.
That sounds exactly what Gene would say, so okay. I'm going to let it fly.
All right. I'm proud of myself then.
Also, I saw Bobby, Eugene, and Kristen Schaal in an interview together, and Eugene was saying that his voice and Kristen's voice, they literally just do their everyday voices for the show, but Bobby does not, and Bobby's voice could not be further from Zeke's. This is really a voice he created for the character. So that was kind of fun to watch.
I love that.
I have one more fun fact. We all love the question, are there any bits of improv that actually ended up in the show, right? Who doesn't love that?
Oh, that's my favorite question of all time. I ask myself that all the time.
Kristen Schaal said, yes, an iconic song that has now been turned into bumper stickers that you put on your car, merch, sung in many households and cars, was not in the script.
Really?
Kristen Schaal came up with buckle it up, buckle it up, buckle it up, or you'll die. That was not in the script.
Beautiful.
How amazing is that?
Beautiful. One of the best improvised pop culture moments of all time, I'd say.
Now, she wasn't clear if she improvised it while they were recording or if she was singing it around the studio and then it ended up in the script. I'm not sure, but it was definitely not written, and it was from the brilliant mind of Kristen Schaal.
All right.
Shall we?
Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Okay. Skylar, can we have the title and synopsis for Season 6, Episode 12, please?
The title is Stand by Gene. When Gene overhears a teen talking about a two-butted goat down on Route 6, he convinces the whole gang to make the trek out there. Louise makes a bet with Gene that it's not real, and Tina's fortune says she'll find love at the end of a long journey, so they're both in. Along the way, Jimmy gets Gene Jelly Donut jealous of Zeke and Gene's friendship. Meanwhile, Bob challenges Linda to a game of horse, which turns into narts. And let's just say they're not competitive at all.
This episode came out on April 3rd, 2016. It was written by John Schrader and directed by Tyree Dillahay.
Okay, we say this thing, and everybody probably rolls their eyes at this time like, we didn't remember this episode, but it's so underrated. That is not the case with this one.
No, you don't forget the two-butted goat.
You do not forget a two-butted goat, and it is iconic, and it is iconic for a reason, and the fact that Bob's Burgers made a whole episode about a two-butted goat is why we love Bob's Burgers. And I will die on this hill.
I also created the meme when the Obi-Wan trailer came out.
Yes.
And they showed that there was like that meme going around of him looking through those like binoculars and then like reacting to what he saw. I put that he saw the two-butted goat in there. And in fact, I'll put it back to the top of our Instagram. So it's It's there right now. So you can see that meme. We got the two-butted goat back.
That was a great joke.
But that's what popped in my head first. I was like, how can I make this Bob's related? I was like, oh, two-butted goat. Yeah.
It was just the two-butted goat just lives right on the surface of your brain.
Yeah. That being said, I didn't remember when the two-butted goat appeared in the world and when we were going to get to it. So
we
was
got
a nice
to
little
it.
surprise to get to this episode and have some two-butted goats in our lives.
We got to it, and it farts in harmony. I love Stand By Me. I love any coming of age group of kid movies. Now and Then, The Goonies, Stand By Me. This is my genre. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Stand By Me. If you're listening and for some reason you haven't seen the movie, go watch it.
Go watch it right now.
It's a classic. It'll give you all the feels. It obviously has a great soundtrack. Came out in 1986. It was directed by Rob Reiner. It's a story of four boys in 1959 who go on a journey to track down the dead body of a missing boy.
Now, wasn't this a book? Didn't a famous author write the book?
Stephen King.
I knew it.
I think it was like a short story or something like that.
Yes, I was going to say Stephen King, but I feel like I accidentally say, oh, that was Stephen King all the time.
Yeah, it's Stephen King's 1982 novella, The Body. That's what it's called.
Oh, I love Stand By Me as a title. Normally those adaptation title stuff I don't like, but good change there. I love Stephen King. Mm-hmm. I truly admire him.
Mm-hmm. There's like no one else who just the body of work, the ability to churn out that work, the amount of content he's produced that have had different adaptations of his stuff is just incredible. And some of it's not great and some of it's really good.
Misery.
Oh my
Such
God.
a great adaptation.
Oh, Misery's so good.
I also love his sobriety journey.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of these authors that was like, I can't create sober, but he needed to get sober. And look at all the wonderful stuff he's created. Yep. In his book, I started Stephen King, whenever he would submit something, God, I'm 99.9% sure this is Stephen King. I'm pretty positive.
On his book On Writing?
I think this anecdote was in there. Every single rejection he got when he was a kid, he would push pin to the top of his bunk bed. And last year, I was cold emailing agents to try and sell my memoir. And my first rejection I got because of Stephen King. I printed it out and I put it on a refrigerator, and it's still there years later. This was a few years ago, actually. And it's just a reminder that those who show up, you're going to get there kind of feeling. So I have a rejection letter posted on our refrigerator, and I will never take it down, thanks to Stephen King.
And I want to ask those of you listening if you would read Skylar's memoir, because...
Oh my God, are you stage momming me?
I'm stage momming you. I think it's beautifully written, and I'm just curious if anyone out there is interested in reading Skylar's memoir. And the more people who respond to that, we can screenshot that and send it to her agent and send it to
I love you. You're so
publishers.
Sweet.
Hey, I'm just saying. Do you want to say what it's about real quick?
No.
Okay.
I'm curious what you think it's about.
I think it's almost like your coming of age, dealing with the loss of a parent and dealing with grief and pursuing ballet and the pressures of trying to be a professional ballet dancer or even not professional, just ballet in general. And also dealing with an alcoholic parent, as well as dealing with alcoholism yourself and sobriety.
Oh, that was beautifully said. Yes, I would say it is a coming of age grief story through addiction and eating disorder. For all those fatherless daughters out there and for anyone who's ever struggled with body image, it would be for you. Oh my gosh, that was really sweet of you, Max.
Oh, I just think, at this point in our podcast, people are here for you.
Stand by me.
There you go. That's a good way. Should we segue back into talking about... That's enough about Stand By Me. Let's talk about Stand By Gene. So Gene gets all of these coming-of-age characters to go on this journey with him. So that's where the homage is.
Yes.
They're not looking for a dead body. They're looking for the double-butted goat, which is even better.
And when I said the whole gang, I didn't just mean the Belcher kids. We have Jimmy Jr. We have Daryl. We have the dynamic ditzy duo, Tammy and Jocelyn. Who else do we have? Zeke. We have...
regular size Rudy.
Oh, and his dress shoes.
He's in his dress shoes without socks. Specifically for the joke, clearly.
Yeah, but can't you just see him waking up and being like, this is the day.
This is the day I'm going to wear my dress shoes. I don't know what voice that was, but...
I'll take it.
And I love how, they're all at Wonder Wharf. This is where the kids go.
Yeah.
And that's how they're standing in line for a ride, and that's how they all kind of come together.
I think right from the beginning, we get Jimmy Jr.'s attachment to Zeke. So Jimmy doesn't really want to go on this adventure, but Zeke is like, hell yes. And then Jimmy's like, just kidding, I'm going to go too. I think stepping back for 12 hours since we've watched this episode, my favorite running emotional thread, besides just the pure joy of a two-butted goat, is Jimmy Jr.'s jealousy of Zeke.
Yeah, which we already promoted Patreon, but we did a whole episode on a fan theories that is Jimmy Jr. in love with Zeke.
Yeah. I mean, this spells it out.
We didn't reference this episode once, I think, in that episode. No. We referenced it a lot of other episodes, but this is a big one. But
I also have to say, this works on a friendship level.
Oh, absolutely.
I think what I'm trying to say is jealousy when you feel like your best friend in that time in your life when best friends are like such an important label. That kind of jealousy is really intense. I don't know if you went through that as a kid, but I certainly did. I don't know. It just hit me really hard. I really felt for Jimmy Jr., even though Zeke is not doing anything wrong. And I think it's so beautiful and fantastic that him and Gene are hanging out. By the way, there is a fan theory or maybe a ship situation. People really ship Zeke and Gene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Over Zeke and Tina?
Yeah. They really think, it's not a theory that I necessarily see, but people strongly believe that Gene and Zeke are going to end up together, which this episode definitely shows that connection there. I see it more as like a little brother, big brother. I just think they would be really good friends because they're both free people.
Yeah, they're comfortable with themselves. They're comfortable being themselves and being the kind. Yeah, and I think we started seeing that relationship in Carpe Museum where they get paired up together, and Zeke's taking Gene to show him all the boobs.
I think Zeke's really evolved since then.
I agree too, but that's like where they first got paired up, I feel like. And they're just such a good pairing. I really enjoy them. And that'll carry into the credits when we get to them.
Yes. And if two people were going to be the most enthused about a two-butted goat, it would be them, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk about Tina's little runner. What are your feelings there?
It's almost like taking Tina's entire series arc and compressing it into a single episode. She is hoping to meet her soulmates, and she is looking at all of the boys around her and trying to figure out if they are a good fit for her.
Did you ever do that? Like trying to force, like, maybe this is the guy I can be with, and you're like, no.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a part of life, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
There's a certain point where you're like,
I went to a really small school.
Yeah, but like I feel like you're hanging out with this group of people, and you're like, maybe this is what this is, and your world is kind of like so small that you're like
insular.
Yeah, I mean, especially growing up when we did pre-social media, pre-dating apps where you're open to like where you can meet people everywhere.
Don't get me started on that whole situation. Yeah, exactly. And one of the scenes between Louise and Tina that really just tickles me is when Louise is like, I'm 9. Like, what advice do you want me to give you? And like Tina kind of creates advice that Louise gives her, even though she's not really saying it. So she's like, love is a journey. And Tina's like, oh, that's brilliant. Maybe my journey isn't over yet. I don't know. I am just so Tina. I can't even articulate it.
Anything else about this A story that you want to talk about, or do you want to move into the B story a little bit?
I do think because it's been a long time since we've had a spotlight on them, I think we should talk about Tammy and Jocelyn.
I mean, Tammy's fine, but I'm always down to talk about Jocelyn. Jocelyn, who at the beginning of this podcast, I was constantly raving about. I just want to say that I have not been raving about her enough. And
that's the
I still love her very much. And she still is definitely in my top 2 characters, Bob's Burgers, on a regular basis.
I think on Patreon, we're going to do like a showdown of Jocelyn's best one-liners. So get excited for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, but very tough for me because she makes me laugh so much.
I do really enjoy in the beginning of this episode where it's like, I'll go if you go. No, you go. Like, okay. Like, it's so preteen, teen girl. It just nails it. Cliches are cliches for a reason.
One thing I did notice about this episode, having all these kids together so frequently in so many scenes, it felt like to me like they don't know exactly how tall or like what size all the kids should be when they're like next to each other.
I noticed that
and
too.
I noticed it throughout like the scenes, and I know they're going for
Jocelyn like
there was one scene where she looked
so
giant,
tall.
Yeah,
she's never looked like that before.
I know they're going for like depth on certain like walking scenes, but it's. I feel like it just is all over the place with sizes. One time, Daryl looks like he's a
like
little, tiny guy. It's funny to just like go back and I can like watch all the different scenes with all these kids together.
That's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on then to the B story.
B story. The competitive nature of Linda and Bob playing this version of horse with kind of like wet napkins eventually.
Yeah. Napkins and darts.
Yeah. Skylar and I can relate because Skylar and I play a lot of like card games and board games together, and we get a little competitive.
I don't want to be competitive. I feel like I'm a gentler soul than that, but I can't not be competitive, and it's so stupid.
Yeah. But this story arc is exactly how you feel. Like we get competitive, but then at the end it's like, I love you, and like I want you to like I want to be excited for you, and I'm proud of you, and you know. And
honestly, super impressed by Linda. And I like that. Okay, Teddy is hysterical. Once again in this episode, he's like mean to Mort because he wants Bob to himself. He's mean to Linda.
Someone in our Discord talked about how Teddy kind of like talks down to Mort, and it's definitely something we should talk about more because
we should talk about it
some Mort for sure. But it's kind of like Mort is probably the one person that can maybe try and take Teddy's space within that. Like he's the other regular that's there, not as much as Teddy, but
I think I don't think that's actually true. Like Teddy thinks that Mort is threatening their relationship, which is just not true.
Yeah,
but I can see how we would create that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Linda taking all these people out in.
I know we have Mike the mailman, Mort. Yeah,
and then Bob's slow like realization as he's just like, oh, we got to beat Linda. Oh, we got to beat Linda as she's just doing an incredible job beating everyone. He's kind of like, no, I'm loving this.
Well, they do this like you sounded like him.
Thank you.
they do this like starry-eyed montage where like it's Linda and she has like firecrackers behind her, and it's so sweet. It's from Bob's perspective. It's really sweet.
Yeah, I love it. That's how I see you every morning when I wake up.
After you, never mind.
After what?
After you make me make the bed.
Yeah, I do. Like I get up and I say, make this thing right now, woman.
The rules were I walk the dog and you make the bed and make the coffee.
Yes.
So that was the deal.
And what's happened?
Now I have to help you make the bed.
Well, that's kind of nice.
And walk the dog.
Yeah, but I still make the coffee.
Yeah.
But it's late.
It's so late, y'all. I want coffee at like 6:30.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Not gonna happen.
I could make my own coffee, but it's like a thing in our relationship. Like, I know Max really loves making me coffee. It's his like love language, making me coffee, which is very selfless.
Who said it? That there's always like one person in the
Lauren
relationship.
Graham.
Oh, Lauren Graham said like, yeah, there's one person who makes the coffee in the relationship, and it's just like a thing.
It's a thing.
Should we get into the end credits?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I believe the last moment before we get these end credits is the kids returning to the restaurant to see that there are wet napkins all over the restaurant.
Which is particularly funny because I didn't mention this, but the bet that Louise and Jean made is whoever loses has to clean the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It was a perfect day, Jean.
Yeah, I don't even care that I lost the bet. It was worth it to see a two-butted goat.
You're welcome.
Besides, how dirty can the restaurant be? What the freak happened in here?
Two-butted goat. Two-butted goat.
So we walk into the restaurant. What the freak happened here? Louise just barely almost says fuck.
Which is delightful.
And then what do we see? How do we get what happens in the end credits? What are we looking at?
It's the classic end credit sequence, but Louise is not in her usual prepping spot. Where is she, Max?
She is standing over on, it looks like on the table
she is
of
on the
one
table.
of the booths, slowly picking away at some of the wet napkins that are stuck to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Bob and Tina are still prepping burgers. There's already a burger in the window. So maybe Louise did her job, then ran out and started to start picking at these napkins.
Yeah, I think Louise is like, if I have to clean this up, I'm going to go like super fast.
Yeah. And we get kind of like this, I want to say marching band.
It is.
Version of a song.
And when I heard it, I was like, oh, I forgot about Max's love of marching bands. And it all came rushing back to me.
I love marching bands. I could watch marching band YouTube videos
we
all
know.
day, every day. Okay.
We know.
In fact, I'm going to track down a marching band version of Stand By Me and watch it
I bet
today.
there is one.
Oh, I'm
Wait,
sure there's
send
plenty.
me the link.
Okay. Oh, see? You want in on this. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. And then we get Jean and Zeke singing Two-Butted Goat. Their
Arms
little,
around
their little
each
song.
other.
Yeah. The way they marched on the way to see the Two-Butted Goat, they're singing along to this marching band song, Two-Butted Goat, and they're marching through the restaurant on the other side of the service window.
Exactly. And I have to say that if you ship Zeke and Tina like this household does, Jean and Zeke being brother-in-laws
Oh, heaven.
or in-laws in general, come on.
The only problem is that when they get married, Tina and Zeke, does Zeke make Jimmy Jr. his best man or Jean?
I think Jean doesn't want to be a best anything. He wants to be the flower girl.
That's fair.
Or
but he might be too old by then. I don't know.
Jean?
Never too old. Okay.
Jean, that's the beauty of Jean. Any construct, he's like, here's a fart sound right over that.
You're right.
I can also see him being like the master of ceremonies.
Oh, okay. He can be like, and he definitely wants to be like the band at the wedding.
100%. Just him. He's
One
pre-recorded
man,
it.
Yeah. We get more of this music. We continue to watch Louise pull off these sticky napkins and kind of toss them in the trash can. She's making some baskets herself.
I think she missed one a little bit ago, and she was like, whatever.
We hear more two butted goats, and Jean and Zeke make their way across the window the other way as Linda makes her appearance and grabs.
Could care less that these two boys are just having a blast.
It's normal stuff. They clearly have a customer in the restaurant because she is going to deliver this, even though the restaurant is covered in wet napkins.
Remember how Teddy was like, I want a coffee and fries and a burger and a beer. And then they were like, oh, we're playing this game. He's like, it can wait. What if the whole episode he had to wait for his burger, which he does. And now he's finally getting his burger.
Yeah, that's what I love about these end credits, by the way, is that it is just, we always try to discuss like what is going on, where does this take place, is it real, is it happening? Mm-hmm. This is very clearly right after the end of this episode because Louise is still cleaning up. The kids are doing like their evening time cooking or whatever they do in the restaurant. Zeke has joined Jean. They're still celebrating the two-butted goat. They're on this high.
Yep.
And just that alone would be great, but we get one last thing coming up here, right?
Yep.
You're the funniest person I've ever met in my whole life, Jimmy. Yeah! I love you so. Two-butted goat.
We get them coming back across the window one more time as they're like talking to each other about just being buddies. But what do we see?
We see Jimmy Jr. in all his "don't tell me not to dance, Dad" glory.
Yeah, he jumps in. He's dancing away.
This is
maybe trying to get Zeke's attention.
I'm going to go a different angle. I want to think that he's had some character growth and he's like, it's okay that Zeke is having a friendship with someone else right now. I'm going to do me.
You're right. I don't give Jimmy Jr. enough credit. And I think that's exactly what's happening here.
So he's like, how can I be part of this? I'll just dance to their song.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell me not to dance, Dad.
Yeah. Now, Tina seems not very excited for having Jimmy Jr. over at the restaurant.
Yeah, although we can't see her eyes. Maybe they're like wide-eyed and she's like, she knows her dad needs her help because Louise is clearly very busy.
Yes.
And Tina's got a good heart.
Yeah. Tina knows.
And yes, sometimes her hormones get in the way, but I think this time she can ogle Jimmy Jr. and prep burgers at the same time.
Exactly. She's probably like a little spy back there.
Mm-hmm.
Harriet the Spy. Did you have a Harriet the Spy notebook when you were a kid?
I did not.
Let me tell you, I did. And it was the highlight of my childhood.
We've got some fun notebooks on bobscredits.com.
Oh my God, we haven't even talked about those. We have these cute notebooks we have a Tina notebook and a Louise notebook, and they're all doodles from their life. Mm-hmm. So Louise's has like a Nat reference and Hawk and Chick references and a slap reference and a regular size Rudy reference. And then of course, Tina, we have Butt Loose. We have Jimmy Jr. We have Boys for Now. We have a quirky turkey. We have a horse.
Yeah, it looks like the two of them doodle on a notebook, and that's what we kind of like. That was our interpretation. Anyway, bobscredits.com/shop.
That's what I'm doing my notes in right now.
Oh, you got it right there. Cute. Property of Tina Belcher.
I know. It's so cute. Oh, we have Sexy 60 Minutes, a zombie boyfriend. Okay, I just have to tell you, the texture of this notebook is my favorite tactile sensation.
It's a pretty cool
notebook. It's like matte.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just obsessed with it. It's my favorite texture ever. Okay.
Anyway, highlights, lowlights. Tell me.
Just kind of knowing that Teddy's finally getting his burger is really nice. When we listened to it yesterday, I couldn't hear the dialogue, but Zeke is like, I love you.
Yeah, it's pulled right from the episode.
I also love male friendships getting to use I love you. I think that's very important to see.
I agree. And that's one of the beauties of Zeke, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this before. When we first watched this series, we expected Zeke to be this like kind of stereotype, like kind of like hard,
toxic
bully,
male.
Yeah. And he's so not that. He is, he's incredible. Like he has no problem saying "I love you" to his friends and showing his friends love and being complimentary of his friends. He's a great character.
Oh, I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. Oh,
you got me.
Cry. Oh, these are
For
tears,
real
boys.
boys. All right, your highlights and your lowlights.
Highlight is I love a marching band style song. I will be chanting two, but it goes for the rest of our weekend. So get ready for that.
Very excited.
I love a generic kitchen sequence. I love watching Louise clean off all this. We always wonder how when the restaurant is in like disarray, how it gets back to normal. And this is showing us.
Ooh, that's
the next
a good
episode.
point.
Yeah. I don't have any lowlights really. Do you have any, or should we get into scoring these?
Let's get into scoring them. I say you go first.
Okay. We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's I am going to give these a 9.5 H's.
I'm going to give them a 9.25.
Oh, okay.
Just a gut thing.
That's fine. Yeah, it's not like, oh my God, it's a 10. Oh, I love these end credits. But I love these end credits.
It just works so well.
Yeah.
It works so well together. The Jimmy Jr. reveal, Louise on a freaking table. Of all the people who have to clean, the shortest person has to clean. And they are.
I wonder what she did to get on those, like the ones that were on the fan.
I can tell you, she doesn't want anybody's help. She will figure it out.
Yeah, she's going to do it on her own. So those are the end credits to Stand By Gene. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Go follow us on all of our social media, Bob's Credits, all across the board. We are everywhere. You can follow me personally on Instagram and Twitter at Oh Hello It's Max. I like to joke around a bit on there. I say some serious
funny,
stuff
y'all.
sometimes, but I do like to joke mostly. Skylar, where can everyone follow you?
You can follow me at No Crying and Cooking, where I am not funny at all.
And yeah, you're funny. You have some funny stuff occasionally.
In my stories.
Yeah, sure. You can follow Biscuit at It's Biscuits World.
Don't follow Biscuit. Go to our shop. Check out the merch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. That's what we want right now.
Yeah.
bobscredits.com/shop.
Biscuit's so bored. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah, and it's lunchtime. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Stay farty. It's a party.
Ooh, stay harmoniously farty?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for.
Oh, got it. Love it.
And I also want to say, I love you, man.
I love you. Two, but it go. Two.